My children, hear these words from me, the Almighty, for I love you unconditionally, with a heart that never fades throughout the ages. Since the dawn of creation, I have made humankind with the hope that you would live in peace, love, and mutual understanding. But now, as the world faces unprecedented tribulations, I must speak to remind you that love is not only a gentle comfort, but a guiding light, a call to awaken those who are lost. Humanity stands at the brink of unparalleled turmoil. Natural disasters strike everywhere. People fight one another for selfish gain, and divisions grow more apparent. All these are but signs of a time foretold long ago, a time I have warned you about. Do not think that the trials and challenges of this moment are mere coincidence. No, they are reminders from me, reminders of the fragility of the systems humankind has built, of the destruction that awaits a civilization rooted in ambition and selfishness. My love for you is not merely to soothe weary hearts, but to awaken you, to help you see clearly the path ahead. A great transformation is approaching, and only those who heed this message will be truly prepared for what is to come. I do not wish for you to live in fear, but I want you to understand that time is running short, and you must awaken before it is too late. My children, listen carefully to this warning. The supernatural event that I have foretold will soon take place. This is not a mere natural phenomenon, not a storm, an earthquake, or an ordinary war. This event will mark a great change in the history of mankind, and it will affect everyone, from kings and rulers to the poorest souls on earth. The event I speak of is a direct intervention from me, the Almighty. It will transform the entire system upon which you depend, from economics, politics, to society and spirituality. The foundations you have built and trusted in for so long will be shaken, and only those who have firm faith in the truth will be able to stand firm amidst the turbulence. Do not think that you can rely on material strength or power to avoid this event. No person, no nation will escape what is to come. You must prepare, not just physically, but spiritually. You have built skyscrapers, created vast economies, but none of that matters if you do not understand the true meaning of life. I call upon you, my chosen ones, to awaken and begin your preparation. Ask yourselves, am I ready? You may stockpile food, weapons, or wealth, but if your spirit is empty, you will be swept away with the wave of change. This event will come like a great storm, sweeping away everything unsustainable, leaving only what is truly firm. It will not only be a judgment, but also an opportunity for you to awaken and change. This is my final warning, a reminder to you, my chosen ones, that time is short. Many of you will doubt, many will ignore this warning. But I tell you, the signs are already clear. The increase in natural disasters, climate change, and global unrest are all signs that this event is drawing near. The terrible floods, earthquakes, and wildfires around the world are just the beginning. You cannot continue living as you have. Do not think that just because this event has not yet come, it will not arrive. Remember, I have foretold it, and when it happens, you will know that I have spoken the truth. My chosen ones, you must prepare your spirit, for what is to come will be a severe test. I do not wish for you to live in fear, but you must understand that this is not an event to be taken lightly. This is my final warning, an opportunity for you to change, to prepare for what I have foretold. Reflect on your life. How have you lived? How much time have you spent considering your spirituality and the true purpose of life? I know that many of you have forgotten the core values of humanity. You live in a modern world, swept away by the pursuit of power, money, and status. But all of this will become meaningless when the event occurs. Only spiritual values, the ones you have neglected, will help you stand firm against the great wave. I send this warning not to make you live in fear, but so that you can prepare for what is to come. Remember that I am always here, watching and loving you, but I cannot help you if you do not awaken yourselves. This is the last opportunity, and I want you to understand that only spiritual preparation will enable you to overcome this trial. My chosen ones, what have you witnessed in recent times? Have you seen how the world is changing rapidly and unpredictably? Powerful earthquakes shake the ground, devastating storms sweep away everything in their path, wildfires burn thousands of hectares of forests, leaving destruction and ruin behind. These disasters are not mere coincidences. They are signs from me, warning you that something greater is coming. Look at the climate of this planet. Ice at the poles is melting at an unprecedented rate, sea levels are rising, and many lands are slowly being submerged. Climate change is not a simple natural phenomenon, but the result of humanity's reckless actions. You have not cared enough for the environment that I have blessed you with, and now the Earth is fighting back, signaling that destruction is near. Earthquakes, floods, storms, all of these are warnings that mankind has lost its balance with nature. You think you can control everything, that with science and technology you can overcome any challenge. But you are wrong. Nature cannot be controlled, and when it rages, you will pay the price. The recent disasters are only the beginning, a reminder that you are on the wrong path. Not only are there natural disasters, but the world is also facing global unrest. Wars, political and social conflicts are breaking out everywhere. Nations are fighting for power, for resources, causing bloody wars that destroy the lives of millions of innocent people. What have you seen from the conflicts in the Middle East, Africa, and even in countries that once seemed stable? Violence and hatred are spreading, dividing humanity into groups, fighting against each other for selfish and meaningless reasons. Modern society is gradually losing the connection between people. You live in a world where technology is advancing, but you are becoming more distant emotionally and spiritually. You no longer truly understand or empathize with one another. Relationships are becoming shallow. Traditional values are being forgotten, and this is leading to a moral and spiritual decay. The spiritual and emotional crises that you are experiencing are the consequences of abandoning the core values that I have taught. What you are witnessing is the collapse of the system you have built, a system founded on greed and selfishness. You have seen this clearly through the global economic instability. Financial markets are collapsing. Economies are falling into crisis. Millions are losing their jobs and living in poverty. None of this is accidental. It is the result of a civilization that no longer relies on true values. I warn you that these crises will only become more severe if you do not change. Look around and ask yourselves, where is this world headed? The signs are already clear. Natural disasters are occurring with greater frequency and intensity. Global conflict is escalating, and climate change is worsening. These are not coincidences. They are signals from me. What you are witnessing is the preparation for a greater event, the supernatural event I have warned you about. Humanity has reached the limit of unsustainable development, and now the world is self-correcting to restore balance. But this correction will not be gentle. It will bring pain and challenge to those who are not ready. I have spoken to you before, and now I remind you again. Spiritual preparation is the most important. No technology, no civilization can protect you from the judgment of nature, from the great change that is coming. What you see today is only a small part of the truth. When the supernatural event occurs, all will be revealed, and you will see clearly what you have overlooked. But do not despair. This is your final chance to change, to awaken and prepare for what is to come. I am not sending you this warning so that you will live in fear, but so that you may understand and act before it is too late. Look at the world around you with new eyes. with a renewed spirit, so that you may embrace this change correctly. You have been given the ability to change, to prepare, and I hope that you will seize this opportunity before it's too late. The current upheavals are only the beginning, and you must understand that the supernatural event that is coming will change everything. Do not wait any longer. Act now, starting from within your soul and in your thoughts. For when that event happens, there will be no more opportunities to go back. My children, preparation for the supernatural event is not merely about material preparation. You may stockpile food, water, and resources, but that will not save your soul. What I truly call upon you to do is spiritual and mental preparation. In this time, values such as faith, humility, love, and compassion will be the only foundation that will help you endure the coming upheavals. Spirituality is the light that will guide your path, and only when you look within and understand what is happening inside yourselves can you truly prepare for this event. For too long, you have chased after the fleeting values of the material world, forgetting that life has greater meaning that cannot be bought or exchanged for money. Spiritual preparation requires you to ask deep questions about the purpose of life. What have you lived for? How have you loved? What have you given to this world beyond your own self-interest? Now is the time to pause and reflect. Look around. The world is divided. Humanity lives in selfishness, hatred, and jealousy. Conflict, war, and polarization are increasing. But the greatest danger is not the external conflict, it is the emptiness within your souls. You who have been chosen must understand that only spiritual preparation can guide you to the truth. Your life will not be saved if you focus solely on accumulating more material wealth. What you must do is return to the roots of faith, live with humility, and recognize the values that I have taught since ancient times. You have forgotten the meaning of unconditional love. You have forgotten the importance of living for others. This is why the world is falling deeper into instability. Do not let your souls be consumed by power or fame. These are mere illusions, temporary and fragile. You must understand that when the supernatural event occurs, none of that will matter. The things you have spent your entire life chasing will disappear, leaving only the bare truth. What have you done to prepare your spirit? I call you to return to faith, to truth, and to humility. Live with love. Do not let the conflicts around you make you forget the true value of humanity. Open your those around you, share and give back to the community.
This is what I ask of you. Love not only with words, but with actions, and live with a heart that is willing to understand and care for others.
Spiritual preparation is not only about praying or following religious rituals. It is about living a life of meaning, recognizing and correcting mistakes, forgiving and loving. When you live with these values, you will not fear when the supernatural event comes. On the contrary, you will welcome it with peace and the certainty that you are ready. Remember, I do not call you to live in fear or anxiety. I want you to understand that spiritual preparation is more necessary now than ever before. When you live with sincerity, with genuine love, you will have nothing to fear when this event occurs. Instead, you will feel blessed because you have prepared not only for this life, but for the life beyond. My chosen ones, I remind you that this preparation is not just for yourselves, but for all of humanity. When you live a righteous life, when you prepare your spirit, you become a beacon of light for others. The world needs examples, those who are willing to live and share love, truth, and compassion. I know that not everyone will heed this call. There will be those who continue to chase material values, continue to live in blindness, failing to recognize the importance of spiritual preparation. But for you, my chosen ones, I call you to stand up and be the pioneers in this journey. Lead others with love and sincerity. Show them that spiritual preparation is the most important thing during these times of turmoil. My children, those who have been chosen by me, listen carefully to these words. The supernatural event that is about to come will mark a clear division between those who have lived with faith in me and those who have turned away from the truth. You must understand that what is about to happen is not a random punishment, but the natural consequence of the choices each individual has made. For those who have held strong faith in me, those who have lived sincerely and with compassion, you will be blessed. You will feel peace in your hearts, no matter how severe the external chaos may become. Believers will be guided through the darkness, not by their own strength, but by the light of faith and love that I have given. When the world around them falls into chaos, you will stand firm because you know that I am always here, watching over and protecting you. Your calmness will become a strength, helping you endure the trials that the supernatural event will bring. You will no longer fear, for the spiritual preparation you have undertaken will become a solid wall of protection against the harshest storms. However, for those who do not believe, those who have ignored my warnings, what is coming will be a terror beyond imagination. They will face this event in fear and panic, for they have not prepared for what is about to happen. These people for years have blindly pursued material values, living with greed and selfishness, forgetting the spiritual principles I have taught. They will have to confront the truth that all they have built, all the wealth and fame they have spent their lives chasing, will become meaningless when this event occurs. As the signs of the supernatural event become more evident, non-believers will fall into a state of panic. They will try to cling to the remnants of the old world, but all those things will dissolve like dust. They will see that the powers they once relied upon no longer exist, that the systems they once trusted are crumbling before their eyes. Those who have chosen the path of disbelief will feel deep fear, for they will have nothing to hold on to as their world is turned upside down. Non-believers will face the consequences of their own choices. They will realize that everything they once valued, money, power, status, will not save them from the truth I am revealing. They will face regret, the sorrow of having missed the opportunity to change, to live with honesty and love. But when the supernatural event occurs, there will be no time to turn back. They have had their chances to change, but they did not take them, and now they must face the consequences. I do not send this message to threaten or instill fear, but to remind you that every choice in life carries consequences. For those who have lived in accordance with faith, I promise you will be protected and guided through the storm. For those who have turned away from the truth, I tell you that the fear you feel is the result of rejecting the core values I have taught. My chosen ones, I remind you that there is still time for non-believers to return to me. This is a critical moment, a time when every individual must ask themselves deep questions about their life. For those who have gone astray, I do not wish them to drown in regret and fear, but hope they will find the way back to me. But you must understand, the supernatural event will come swiftly, and once it occurs, decisions will be final. Remember, the greatest difference between believers and non-believers is not in their preordained fate, but in the choices they have made in life. Those who have chosen the path of faith, compassion, and virtue will never need to fear the coming upheavals. In contrast, those who have chosen selfishness and disregard for others will face a harsh reality. They will realize that what they thought was permanent is merely temporary, and that only love and faith endure forever. My children, know that I always offer a chance to all, but only those who seize that opportunity will be able to withstand the trials ahead. This is my final reminder to you so that you understand that the choices you make today will determine the outcome you will face when the supernatural event takes place. My children, those who have been chosen by me, the moment of revelation is near. You have lived in a society where hidden truths, long concealed, will be brought to light. When the supernatural event occurs, nothing will remain in darkness. Everything that has been covered up by humanity, from corruption, injustice, to hidden personal pains, will be exposed before all mankind. Look around and see that your society has been distorted by falsehood and injustice. Scandals have been uncovered, from those in power exploiting their positions for personal gain, to nations and organizations hiding terrible truths about the abuse of power and resources. The current systems, whether political, economic, or social, are facing a crisis of public trust. Why? Because these systems were built on foundations of selfishness and deceit. Humanity has created a world where falsehood reigns. You live in a society where what you see on the surface is not the truth. The media, the education system, and even large global organizations have been manipulated to conceal uncomfortable truths. But you must understand that when the supernatural event happens, nothing can escape my light. Everything you've placed your trust in will be tested, and the truth will be revealed. Reflect on recent history. How many cases of corruption have been brought to light? How many governments have been exposed for manipulating power for personal gain instead of serving the community? Organizations that seemed strong have been revealed to have exploited people, deceived the masses, and siphoned resources from the weakest among you. This truth can no longer be hidden. I have seen it all, and now you too will witness what has been kept from you for so long. This revelation will not only affect the systems of power, but will also extend to each individual. Understand this. No secret can remain hidden forever. What humanity has done, whether in darkness or in light, will be brought forth. From the smallest personal missteps to actions on a global scale, all will be laid before me. That is the moment when you will face yourself, confronted with the things you have ignored or buried. Those who have lived in falsehood will be consumed with fear as the truth is unveiled. They have lived their entire lives hiding secrets, avoiding responsibility, but when this event happens, there will be nowhere left to run. The truth will envelop all, and those who have lived dishonestly will feel the deepest breakdown as everything they once believed crumbles before their eyes. But, my children, this is also the time for you to face your own personal truth. How long have you lived in self-deception? How many times have you covered up your mistakes instead of confronting and correcting them? This is the moment when you must look inward and realize that only truth can set you free. Not the lies or the facades you've constructed to protect yourself. Prepare your mind and spirit to face the things you've avoided for so long. This is the time to face yourself and live in alignment with true values. The society you are living in has become divided. People are separated for trivial reasons, differences that should bring you closer to understanding each other, but instead you use them as weapons against one another. These divisions will become even clearer when the supernatural event occurs. As truth is revealed, the masks that people wear will fall, and the true nature of each person will be laid bare. Governments, powerful organizations, and corporations will no longer be able to hide their acts of corruption. Conspiracies and manipulative plans that influence the economy, politics, and society will be exposed before the public eye. Those who have lived in deceit, who have used their power to exploit and deceive others, will face the harsh reality that everything they built was on sand, and it will collapse. For those who have lived truthfully, this event will be a release. They will no longer have to endure the injustice and fraud committed by the powerful. As the truth comes to light, These people will feel peace and tranquility, knowing that what they have lived and fought for all this time will finally be acknowledged. I call upon you to live in truth, for only truth is everlasting. Everything you try to hide will only bring suffering later. Don't live in fear of having your secrets exposed, but rather live in a way that there is nothing to hide. Understand that when the supernatural event takes place, only what is built on truth will survive. My children, prepare your minds and spirits, for this moment will come. Nothing can remain hidden. Everything will be brought into the light, and only those who live in truth will survive the storm. My children, those chosen by me, the supernatural event approaching is not just a judgment, but also the final opportunity for you to change and correct the mistakes you have made. This is my strong call, my last warning for you to realize that there is still time to awaken, to return to the righteous path before it is too late. Do you understand that I have given humanity this one last chance to change? Everything that has happened in the past has led to this moment. Humanity has spent days in selfishness, indifference, and forgotten the sacred values that I have taught from ancient times. You have neglected the importance of faith, compassion, and sincere love for one another. But I have always been patient, waiting for the day you would recognize your wrongs and make amends. The supernatural event is not the end, but a new opportunity, a door that opens for those who awaken. For those who have strayed from the righteous path, now is the time to return. I do not desire the destruction of humanity, but want you to understand that only by changing now can you save yourself and save this world. Those who have been consumed by modern life, chasing fame, wealth, and material possessions, must now ask themselves, what truly matters to me? Do you truly find happiness in what you have pursued? Or are they mere illusions that you thought would bring satisfaction? My children, what you truly need does not lie in riches, power, or fame. What you need is peace in your soul, the joy of loving and sharing with others, and faith in something greater, in me, the Almighty. I do not send this warning to instill fear, but to help you realize that there is still time to change. Whatever you have done in the past, no matter the mistakes or sins, I am ready to forgive if you truly wish to return to me. The opportunity always exists for those willing to change, who are willing to abandon bad habits, selfish thinking, and turn towards a life of truth, love, and meaning. Look around you. War, poverty, economic crises, environmental destruction, and human alienation are more apparent than ever. You have been too focused on personal gain and forgotten that we are all part of a whole. When one part of the world is wounded, all suffer. The world today calls for great change, not just in political or economic systems, but in the way you perceive life and treat each other. I remind you once again that this is the last chance to make amends. No one is forced, and no one is judged if they voluntarily return to the righteous path. But you must understand that the event will come like a storm, and when it arrives, there will be no time left for hesitation or delay. Those who have awakened and prepared will face this event with calm, while those who hesitate will be caught in confusion, regretting the lost opportunity. The changes you must make are not grand gestures, but begin with small acts in everyday life. Live with humility, compassion, and love for others. Abandon behaviors that harm others, and work to rebuild relationships that have been damaged. This is the time to reflect on yourself, confront your mistakes, and have the courage to admit them. True courage lies not in hiding or avoiding the truth, but in being willing to change and move forward on a new path. For those who have lost direction, I want you to know that it is never too late. No matter how far you have wandered, no matter how many mistakes you have made, I am always here with open arms ready to welcome you back. But you must act now. This opportunity will not last forever. When the supernatural event happens, everything will change, and those unprepared will not be able to find their way back. I urge you to seize this opportunity to change from within. This world can be transformed if every individual is willing to correct their mistakes, live truthfully, and love one another more. Do not wait any longer, for time is passing quickly. Return to me, to the core values of humanity: love, truth, and peace. My children, those chosen by me. When the supernatural event occurs, there will be a clear difference between those who have prepared spiritually and mentally and those who are not ready. This difference will not be about material possessions, wealth, or social status, but rather a profound difference within the soul and spirit of each person. In that moment, there will be those who stand firm with courage and faith, while others will fall into panic and despair because they do not know how to face what is coming. Those who have prepared spiritually will greet the supernatural event with peace in their hearts. They are not afraid because they understand that these changes are just part of a great transformation that I have ordained. These people have taken the time to contemplate the meaning of life, have rediscovered faith, and live lives of meaning. They have learned to love, to share, and are not bound by the fleeting material values of this world. To them, this event is not a disaster, but an opportunity to witness the truth and live in a new world where love and honesty are the foundation. They will not be shaken by the turbulence around them. On the contrary, they will feel calm because they know they have prepared, not only for themselves, but for those around them. Those who have prepared spiritually will become guiding lights, helping others in their moments of panic. They will be the ones I trust to lead humanity through these difficult times, for they have lived according to the values that I desire. But on the other hand, those who have not prepared will face this event with fear and anxiety. They will be swept up in the whirlwind of change, not knowing how to save themselves. These people, for years, have lived in forgetfulness, pursuing temporary goals. They have been consumed by the pursuit of money, power, and fame, and have forgotten the true values of human connection and honesty. And when the supernatural event occurs, they will see that everything they once considered important no longer holds any meaning. Those who are unprepared will experience a great loss. They will realize that all their wealth and the comforts they accumulated over their lifetimes are now useless. They will feel empty and afraid because they have nothing to rely on when their world collapses. When the event happens, they will not know where to turn because they have never prepared for such a profound change. They will try to cling to what remains, but none of it will be able to help them anymore. The difference between those who have prepared and those who have not will also be evident in their ability to face the truth. Those who have prepared will face the truth calmly, for they have lived according to spiritual values. They are not afraid to look back on their lives because they know they have lived with honesty and love. Meanwhile, those who have not prepared will panic when confronted with their own actions and the truths they have long tried to hide. They will realize that nothing can remain hidden anymore, that all their secrets and wrongdoings will be exposed. Those who have not prepared spiritually will feel an immense emptiness when they realize they have lost the opportunity to live a meaningful life. They will feel regret, but when the event occurs, regret will no longer hold any value. They will see that the choices they made were mistaken, but it will be too late to turn back. Meanwhile, those who have prepared will feel peace, knowing that every decision they made has led them to this moment, and they will find contentment in their souls. My children, those chosen by me. I call on you to be ready. Start preparing now. For the supernatural event will come swiftly, and when it happens, there will be no time left to think or change. Live truthfully. Abandon the attachments to the material world that you have clung to for so long. Do not get caught up in meaningless pursuits, in the race for power and wealth. These are only illusions that will disappear when the truth is revealed. Take time to reflect, to prepare your soul and spirit for what is to come. The difference between those who have prepared and those who have not will not only be in how they face the supernatural event, but also in how they live afterward. Those who have prepared will step into a new world where love and honesty will be the foundation. They will become leaders, helping to rebuild the world from the rubble. Those who have not prepared will find themselves lost in a world they no longer understand, a world where all their old values have been erased. My children, I call on you to awaken now. The supernatural event is not something to fear, but an opportunity to change and prepare for a new world, where only those who are ready will live in peace and happiness. Do not let your preparation remain superficial. Let it seep deeply into your soul. Live with love, honesty, and humility, for only these values will help you withstand the waves of change. O my chosen ones, look around at the world surrounding you. Do you not see the clear signs of unrest? War, economic crisis, and the disconnection between people are spreading like dark waves, threatening to engulf all of humanity. These events are not random. They are clear signs that foretell the coming supernatural event. The world as you know it is undergoing profound tremors, for the old systems that mankind has built are no longer strong enough to withstand the great trials that lie ahead. Look at the wars raging across the world, from the brutal conflicts in the Middle East to the political tensions between global powers. These wars are not only being fought for power or territory, but they also signal the moral decay within the global political system. Humanity is growing further and further from compassion, instead fighting to dominate and control. You have witnessed great nations and mighty powers pulling each other into meaningless wars. Behind these battles, there are no noble ideals, only ambition and human greed. This has caused societies to become more divided, filled with hate and resentment. You have also witnessed economic crises, with major economies collapsing before your eyes. Financial markets are unstable, and the economic systems mankind has built over the decades are in decline. The gap between the rich and the poor has never been more pronounced, with a small group accumulating vast wealth while millions are plunged into poverty and unemployment. This is not only an economic issue, but a spiritual one. You have lived in a world where the value of a person is measured by wealth, power, and status. But now, all of that is crumbling. Protests and movements demanding justice and truth are rising everywhere. In many nations, the people have begun to rise up, demanding change. They no longer trust the existing political and economic systems, which have failed them too many times. The injustice has become so obvious that it can no longer be ignored. Cries for help echo from all corners of the world, a cry for change that cannot be delayed any longer. Your world is being driven into deeper divisions than ever before. It is not only war or economic crisis, but also the disconnection between people. You are living in an age of advanced technology, yet people are becoming more distant. You can connect with each other through modern means, but you are losing true understanding and compassion for one another. Relationships have become superficial, and though you live in a world full of information, you lack true knowledge about the essence of humanity. This disconnection is not just between individuals, but also between communities, nations, and cultures. Today, people no longer feel they belong to a shared community. Human values, compassion, and empathy seem to have been replaced by selfishness, personal ambition, and indifference. I see the breakdown of relationships between people as each individual becomes more focused on themselves, living in an isolated world, caring little for those around them. I call upon you to awaken before it is too late. War and economic crisis are not the end, but they are the clear signs that mankind is falling into a spiral of collapse. If you do not change, if you do not return to the core values of humanity, truth, love, and compassion, then this world will be beyond saving. The crises you are facing are the strongest warnings yet. You cannot continue living as you have. The old systems, the shallow values, no longer fit a world on the brink of a great transformation. Oh, my chosen ones, look at the present and see clearly what is to come. As war erupts everywhere, as the great economies of the world fall into crisis, as people become disconnected from one another, you must understand that these are not temporary phenomena, but the signs of a global system failure. The supernatural event I have warned you about is approaching, and you must prepare your minds and spirits to face it. The world as you know it will no longer exist after this event, and only those who are spiritually and mentally prepared will be able to stand strong. The protests and calls for justice around the world are signs that people are seeking great change. These individuals are not just fighting for personal gain, but are searching for a new system, a fairer social order where spiritual values, truth, and love are held in higher regard than material wealth. This is the moment when humanity must choose to continue living in the collapse of the old systems, or to awaken and find a new path. I call upon you, my chosen ones, to rise up as an example to others, live with truth, love, and share with others. Help those around you to understand that change does not come from fixing the old systems, but from transformation within each person. When each individual changes, the world will change. Do not let this world sink into the darkness of war, crisis, and isolation. Return to the core values of humanity, to understanding and compassion. This is the only way humanity can overcome the supernatural event to come and build a new world, where love and truth will be the foundation. Oh, my children, the supernatural event that is approaching is not only a momentous time for humanity, but it is also the moment when each individual must make the most important choice of their life. You must understand that this event is not something I'm imposing upon you, but rather an opportunity for each person to decide their own path. This choice will not be easy, but it carries immense responsibility. Each of you will have to face yourself and decide which path you will continue to follow. I do not force you to choose a particular path, but I want you to understand that the choice you make today will determine your future. Those who choose to walk the path of faith, love, and truth will be blessed and live in peace. But those who choose the path of selfishness, indifference, and continue to live in the darkness of deceit will face the consequences of that choice. You must realize that the supernatural event is not a punishment, but the final opportunity for you to change. Each of you has the freedom to choose, and each choice carries with it personal responsibility. This choice does not only affect your life, but also the community around you. I have given you free will so that you may make decisions, and you must take responsibility for what you choose. In the world today, many people have chosen to remain indifferent to the turmoil around them. They believe that apathy will shield them from the changes that are coming, but that is an illusion. Indifference is not a harmless choice. It is a way of refusing to face the truth. When you do not act, when you do not choose a path, you are allowing your life to drift without direction. Indifference will not help you avoid this event. It will only cause you to lose the chance to change. O my chosen ones, I call upon you to reflect on your life. What choices have you made? Have you lived up to your responsibility? In the world today, every action, every thought, and every choice of an individual has an impact on the community around them. You do not live in isolation, and what you do affects others. When you live with truth, love, and responsibility, you are building a better world not only for yourself, but for all of humanity. The approaching supernatural event is a reminder that no one can escape the need to choose. You must ask yourself, where will I stand when that moment arrives? This is not an easy choice, for it requires courage and determination. But you must remember that I am always here, guiding and loving you. Those who choose the path of faith will not walk it alone. I will be by your side, giving you the strength and courage to overcome every challenge. I do not want you to live in fear of the supernatural event, but I want you to understand that the choice you make today will determine everything. You must take responsibility for your life and know that every thought and action has consequences. This is not a time for indifference or delay. It is the moment for you to act. Those who choose the path of indifference and selfishness will feel great loss when the supernatural event happens. They will see that everything they once thought was important, money, power, and fame, will fade away. They will face regret for not acting, for not changing when they had the chance. But by then, it will be too late to turn back. Oh, my children, remember that choice is not a burden, but an opportunity to build a new life, a new world based on the eternal values of love, truth, and compassion. When you live with responsibility and truth, you will no longer worry about the future. Peace will come to those who have chosen the right path. Oh, my chosen ones, I remind you that before the supernatural event occurs, you must return to the core values of humanity. These values are love, truth, and peace. These are not merely ethical principles I want you to follow, but they are the foundation of a meaningful and joyful life. These values have existed since the beginning of time, since I gave humanity the ability to think and choose. However, in today's world, many have forgotten them, swept away by the pursuit of material gain and personal ambition. Love is the foundation of everything. It is not just the love for family and friends, but the love for all of humanity. You must understand that this world cannot survive without love. That is why I have always taught that love is the highest principle, above all divisions, conflicts, and hatred. You must learn to love others, even when they are different from you in culture, religion, or politics. Now is the time to learn to put aside hatred and jealousy and to live in harmony with one another. O my chosen ones, truth is an essential value. In today's world, deception has crept into every corner of life. People have distanced themselves from truth, hiding behind masks and concealing their true selves. But I tell you, only truth can lead you to peace. Living in truth does not mean you will not make mistakes, but it means having the courage to admit them, learn from them, and continually strive to improve. When you live in truth, you no longer fear the consequences of deceit, and your soul will feel light and tranquil. I also call on you to live with a heart of peace. Peace is not merely the absence of war, but an inner calm and harmony with those around you. When you live in peace, you not only avoid conflicts and disputes, but you also spread peace to others. I have seen too much division in your world, too many wars fought over greed and hatred. To live in peace, you must learn to let go, to forgive, and not be burdened by old grudges. Oh, my children, look at the world today. You are living in a time when these core values have been severely eroded. The political, economic, and social systems you rely on can no longer provide you with the peace and happiness you seek. This is not by chance, but the result of humanity abandoning the core values I have taught. Love has been replaced by selfishness, truth by deceit, and peace by war and conflict. But I call on you to return to these core values. This is your last chance to change. Before the supernatural event occurs, you must examine your life. Let go of bad habits, toxic relationships, and live with love, truth, and peace. You do not need to perform grand actions. Start with the smallest acts. Love those around you. Be true to yourself and others, and strive to maintain peace within your heart and in your relationships. I know that changing your life is not easy, especially when you are living in a world filled with chaos and pressure. But you must understand that only by returning to the core values of humanity can you overcome the challenges ahead. If you do not return to love, truth, and peace, you will be swept away in a spiral of chaos and suffering. These values are not only my teachings, but the eternal foundation for a better world. A world I wish for you to rebuild after the supernatural event. Remember, I do not call you to live in fear or anxiety about the coming event. I call you to live by the values I have given you since the beginning. You have the power to choose, and I hope you will choose the path of love, truth, and peace. This is not only the way to survive the supernatural event, but also the path to building a new life, a new world, where all people live in harmony and happiness. Oh, my children, now that everything has been revealed, I present to you my final call. Time is running out, but the opportunity still remains for those who are willing to change, for those who understand the importance of love, truth, and peace. The supernatural event that is approaching is not just a transformation of the external world, but also an opportunity for each individual to undergo an inner transformation. This is the moment where you must make a choice that will determine your future and the future of humanity. You must understand that I am not calling you to instill fear. I come to you with unconditional love, to remind you that the great change that is coming is not destruction, but rebirth. However, to step into this new world, you must be prepared. You must return to the core values that I have taught throughout the ages. You must choose now, and you will be responsible for the path you choose. Do not delay. Do not think that there is still time to procrastinate. The supernatural event will come unexpectedly, and when it happens, those who are unprepared will have no further chance to change. Live with love, truth, and peace, starting now. Act from the heart, for not only will your life change, but the fate of all humanity will be shaped by the choices of each individual. I call upon you, my chosen ones, to be the light that guides others. Help them to see that the coming event is not the end, but the beginning of a new world. A world where love will reign supreme, where truth and peace will be the foundation. You have the opportunity to create change, but first, you must change yourself.
I remember, I'm always here, watching over you and loving you. I always offer a chance to those willing to change and to those who desire to live a meaningful life. The choice is in your hands, and
Time is short, but I will always be waiting for you to return.
always back.
Oh, my children, act today. Do not let regret and fear control you when that moment arrives. This event is a sign of transformation, an opportunity for you to awaken and live by the highest values. This is my final call. Listen with your hearts and act with courage, for only those who are ready will cross the threshold into the new world where love, truth,